Yeah, hello everyone. Am I audible to all of you? Good evening, everyone. Yeah. Just let me know, guys, if you can hear me. Okay, so fine, we can start the session. So guys, today I'll be discussing about another very important concept inside MLOps called Docker. Okay, so most of people I think already familiar with Docker, but if you are not familiar with, no need to worry. I will give you the introduction of the Docker, like why it is required, how it is works. Okay, each and everything we'll try to see. Even I will also show you some required Docker commands, like if I want to, let's say, containerize my entire application. So how we can write the Docker file, how we can build a Docker image. Okay, we'll try to discuss each and everything. Got it. So today it's not possible to complete the entire Docker because Docker needs actually a couple of sessions. So what I will do today, I will show you the introduction of the Docker, like why it is required and all. Then I'll be discussing about the entire Docker ecosystem. I will also show you how we can install the Docker and all. So in the next session, we'll also see some required commands, okay, inside Docker. So whenever, let's say, you are implementing the application, whenever you are deploying the application, okay, so that time how we can use this Docker for the CI/CD and all, each and everything we'll try to discuss here. Got it? Okay, so if you're new to my channel, guys, so please try to support the channel, try to subscribe and share it with your friends and family so that they can also get to know this kinds of community series has started. Okay, yeah, so today is day 7 and our discussion topic would be Docker. Okay, so can anybody tell me what is Docker exactly in the chat? Any idea, guys? What is Docker in the chat? You can let me know in the chat if you know what is Docker in the chat. In between, let me write down the agenda. What are the things we're gonna cover in this session? So today I'll be discussing about Docker. Okay, Docker. So first of all, we'll try to understand why Docker. Okay, why Docker you need. Then we'll be trying to understand what is Docker. What is Docker? Then I'll be discussing about how we can install Docker. Install Docker. Then we'll be discussing about uh, Docker client. Then I'll be discussing about what is container. Okay, what is container? Then I'll be discussing about how Docker run on your computer. Okay, computer. So these are the things we'll try to discuss. Okay, one by one. So let me see the chat. Just a minute. Hmm. Okay, so first of all, let's try to understand what is Docker exactly. Hmm. Because many people has the question like what exactly the Docker, okay, why it is required. Okay, see, uh, Docker we use for the containerization of our application. Okay, so what is containerization? I'll let you know. First of all, just let me show you one example. Let's say whenever you install any software, okay, whenever, let's say, you install software. Okay, software. So the first step, what you do usually, guys, so if I'm discussing about the flow. Okay, installation flow. So I think you first of all download Okay, download. Okay, download the software installer. Okay, then what you do, you just try to run the installer. Okay, then sometimes you error, get an error. Okay, so once you get the error, what you do, you just try to do the troubleshooting. Here I can write troubleshoot. Okay, so whenever, let's say, you did the troubleshoot, you got the solution, then again you will rerun installer. Okay, then again there is a possibility you may get an error. Okay, get an error, and this process would be repetitive. Okay, so you can get error as much as you can. So whenever you are getting the error, that time what you have to do, you have to troubleshoot that error. Okay, so this should be rerunning. Okay, so there is a possibility the software you can install in easiest way in just one shot, but there is a possibility you might get the error. Okay, so here I'm not talking about the software only. Okay, in case any kinds of project, let's say you have implemented one Python project. Okay, and let's say you are sharing this project with your let's say employee, or let's say with your friends, or let's say anyone, you are sharing that application and you are telling, let's say I have created this application, and to run this application you have to install these are the tools. So let's say now I'm trying to install your let's say project in my system. So there is a possibility I might get the error. So whenever I'm getting the error, what I have to do, definitely I have to do the troubleshoot operations. I'll go to the Stack Overflow, I will use the chat GPT, then I will try to find a solution. Again, I will rerun that particular let's say project, or let's installer, then I'll try to install that particular software. But again, there is a possibility after doing the troubleshooting, we might again get the error. Okay, so it's just a repetitive task. So whenever, let's say, I'm using any other software, or let's say someone has implemented the software and they're sharing with me, so definitely there is a possibility you might get the error, because we know that in Python there are thousands of library. Okay, and this library is super changeable. I think you saw, like, if you open up any kinds of library, they are updating day by day their package. And let's say you are using one a library, and this library is getting changed, okay, after a few months. So definitely we'll get the error. Okay, so to prevent these kinds of error, what we do usually, we just try to do the containerization entire in my entire application. So what is containerization? I'll be discussing about that. Means we just try to create a Docker image of our application, and that Docker image we can easily run into any kinds of system without facing any kinds of error. Okay, so I'll tell you, okay, how to do it and all. But first of all, let me show you. So whenever, let's say, we are trying to install any software, so what is the issue we might get? So first of all, I will give you one real-time example. Let's say I'll go to the Google, and there is software called Redis. Okay, so Redis install, I'll just write Redis install. So Redis is a in-memory actually database. So it is available over the you can say internet. So here they have already given the command like how to install the Redis in your system and all. See, each and everything is already mentioned. Let's say I want to see the Redis installation guidelines. So if I open it up, you will see there are different commands are available. Okay, you can see there are different commands are available to install this particular Redis. Okay, now let's say I will open up my terminal. Okay, I'll open up my terminal. Okay, now let's say I'll copy one command. Let's say I will copy this particular command, and if I execute in my terminal, you will see that it will give me one error. See, it is telling sudo is not recognized and internal and external commands. Okay, it is trying to give me this particular error. Now what you have to do as per your diagram, so whenever, let's say, you are installing any kinds of software, whenever you are facing any error, you have to troubleshoot that. So what you can do, again, you can copy this error and simply you can search on Google. Okay, so you will be getting different okay solution. So let's say you have read one solution. Let's say what you have to do, let's say you have to install the sudo, and sudo is a Linux actually command. it is running on the Unix operating system, that means Linux operating system. So let's say you have find out the let's say what you have find out the solution. Now what you will do, as per the solution, you will be using the Linux terminal, okay, instead of using the let's say this one, Windows terminal. Got it? So it's not actually actual way, because there is a possibility definitely you will be getting different error. So here I'm giving you the high level like demo, guys. See what happens, because you know that Redis is already available for the Windows, but I'm talking about, let's say, any other operating system, because we have to install with the help of command. But in Windows, we know that we have the exe file, we have the like different actually executable file, and if I double click that file, it will try to install for me. But what about any other operating system, let's say Mac OS, Linux? If you'll see that, so here you have to use different commands, okay, different commands. And we already know that whenever we try to create any Python project, so how we install? With the help of command only. So let's say we create a virtual environment, we install the requirements, right? So with the help of command line, we'll try to install the software. So similar wise for the Linux and Mac OS also, the same thing, you have to use the command. And what I told you in my cloud cloud session, so I think remember, guys, I was talking about the Linux Foundation as well as the cloud platform, and there I already told you. So in the production, we try to use the Linux operating system most of the time, okay? So that's why we have to use the command line, okay? Most of the time we have to use the command line to install any kinds of software, to configure any kinds of thing, okay? So most of the time we'll be using the Linux operating system. That's why I have copy pasted the Linux command, and here I execute it. Got it? But we are running everything in our Windows machine. And why what I told you in the Linux operating system session, because I told you, all the research are coming inside data science, everything is coming inside Linux operating system, not in Windows machine, okay? So most of the application you'll be deploying in the Linux operating system, not in the Windows operating system, okay? I think, guys, you are getting my point. So Docker helps run the application on the different environment. Vineet, you are almost correct, but I'll let you know about the correct definition. Yes. Yeah, Pandya, thank you. So yes, so I think, guys, you are getting my point, okay, what I'm trying to say. Okay, now this problem can be solved, okay? This problem can be solved with the help of Docker easily. Let's say in Docker, we don't need to, okay, we don't need to actually install so many things. Or let's say I want to install Redis, okay? We don't need to install so many things, okay? Only what we have to do, we have to install the Docker environment in our system, and with the help of one particular command, we can easily install the Redis in our system. Okay, let me show you one magic, guys. So let's say if I want to install the Redis, okay, so simply what I can do, I can use the Docker command. So for me, I already have the Docker. Let me show you. So in Windows, you have to install this particular system called Docker desktop. See, it is already running for me. I'll let you know how to install it. As of now, just try to see how to install this software. Okay, now I'll open up my terminal. Okay, I'll open up my terminal. Here simply I'll just write one command, docker, okay, run -it redis. See, it is telling unable to find the image Redis. Okay, now it is pulling the Redis image from the Docker hub. I'll let you know what is Docker hub and all, each and everything I'll try to discuss. Now see, Docker is Redis is getting downloaded, okay, and it is automatically, okay, configuring everything inside my Docker environment. So it will take some time. Let's wait. After that, I'll show you. Okay, this Redis is running. See, so that much actually easy it is, and it is like very very important actually, let's say tool whenever you are creating any end-to-end software. So most of the time you will be using Docker for the deployment purpose, okay, or let's say whenever you are sharing your application with any other, let's say developer, that time you will be using this Docker email Docker concept a lot. Now see, my Redis has been installed and it is running successfully. Okay, now if I show you the image, so if you simply can go to the image section. Now see, my Redis is running. Okay, you can see. So this particular Redis we have successfully, okay, downloaded, okay, with the help of Docker, and there is one container is running, you can see. Okay, I'll let you know what is container, okay, inside Docker, and how image is executing inside a container. Okay, everything I'll try to discuss. Now see, this is running. Now if I want to stop, so simply I can press Ctrl C, okay, so it will stop actually everything. Okay, so that's how with the help of this Docker you can install any kinds of software in a very easiest way, okay, without facing any kinds of dependency error. Okay, so this is super important, guys. So going forward, we'll be creating MLDL project, and there we'll be trying to integrate the Docker, and I will show you. Okay, so you won't be getting any kinds of error. Okay, but if you see, okay, any, let's say, simple implementation, so let's say whenever we install it manually, that time there is a possibility we might get the error. Okay, because of the library dependency and all. But in Docker, it is not actually possible. So everything will be done in a containerized way. Okay, so we'll try to see this particular thing. Got it? Hmm. Okay, so now I think you got it, the Docker definition. So let me show you the Docker definition. Docker definition is nothing but, so here I have created some of the diagram. See, this is the Docker definition. So what is Docker? Docker is nothing but Docker makes it really easy to install and run software without worrying about the setup dependency. Okay, guys, are you getting my point? Yes or no? Let me know. What is Docker exactly? Okay, so I showed you one demo na, so I think you got it now. So here you can see Docker makes it really easy to install and run software without worrying about the setup and dependencies, because inside Docker we have something called image. Okay, we have something called image, and this image we can run in a different container, and this image is nothing but it's a snapshot. Okay, so yeah. Hmm. Okay, now let's see what is Docker exactly. Okay, this is the Docker Docker definition. You can just remember as a high level, Docker makes really easy to install, run software without worrying about the setup and dependency. Okay, but if you ask me Docker in a technical way, what is Docker exactly? Docker is a ecosystem. Okay, let me show you. So Docker is a ecosystem. So inside Docker ecosystem we are having various kinds of thing, you can see. So Docker ecosystem, Docker is a platform or ecosystem around creating and running containers. So inside Docker ecosystem, we have Docker client, we have Docker server, we have Docker machine, we have Docker image, we have Docker hub, we have Docker compose. Okay, we'll try to see each and everything in detailed way, no need to worry. So see, whenever, let's say, just a minute. Yeah, sorry. Just a minute. Hmm. See, inside actually Docker. Okay, so we use something called image. Okay, so what is image? I'll let you know, but before that, let me show you some more example. Just a minute. So here I've created another diagram. So this is the diagram. So this will give you the entire sense about image and container. So you can see. Okay, so see, inside Docker. Okay, inside Docker, uh, we use something called image. So I think you remember I executed one command called docker run. Okay, you can see docker run hyphen it redis. So here redis is just an image. Okay, I think you know redis is a software, but inside Docker it is stored as an image. Okay, so what it does actually, it will go to the Docker hub. Here you can see inside Docker ecosystem we have something called Docker hub. Hub is nothing but, hub contains all kinds of image. Okay, whether it's any kinds of image, whether it's a Python image, different software image. Okay, even you can also create your own custom image and you can host in the Docker hub. So it's just a public repository. So it will first of all find, okay, it will first of all find inside your local machine whether this redis is available or not. If it is not available, it will go to the Docker hub and it will try to download the image for you. Okay, let me show you the Docker hub exactly. So Docker hub. So this is the Docker Hub website. So here you can create an account, and even you can also publish your own image. Okay, it is also possible. I will let you know, okay, later on whenever we'll create our custom image. So here let me show you the Redis image. Okay, see, this Redis image is available inside Docker Hub. So what happens actually, whenever I executed this command, docker run -it redis. So first of all, it will check my local machine, and inside my local machine, this Redis image was not available. So it will go to the Docker Hub, and from there it will fetch this image. Okay, okay, you can see it will fetch this image, and this is the complete Redis software. Okay, it is stored as an image inside Docker Hub. Now let's try to understand what is image exactly. Okay, so here if you see inside my Blackboard, so image is nothing but it's a single file with all the dependency and configuration required to run a program. That means, I think you know, whenever let's say you create any MLDL project, so there you create different files as well as the configuration, dependency, requirements. Okay, yes or no, guys? I think you can relate. Okay, whenever let's say we develop any project, so in that project we have different files, requirement, dependency, configuration. Okay, so this is what actually you have inside an image. That means it's just a program file. Okay, so what happens, see, whenever you execute any image, so it will be running inside a container. You can see container instance of an image run as a program. Okay, run a program. So whenever you run any kinds of image, let's say whenever I executed docker run redis, so it was running this particular Redis software inside a container. That means inside a virtual machine. Okay, so you can see this is the machine it has created, container. Okay, this container it has created. See, this container it has created. Inside this container, this image was running. Okay, so this is called actually container. Okay, so you can create multiple container. It is a possible. So we'll try to understand because it just I told you now. So Docker we can't learn inside just only one session. For this we need multiple session. Okay, just a minute. Okay, got it, guys. So as a high level, I think you got it, like what is image and what is container. So image means it's just a snapshot. That means like your program, okay, stored as an image, and whenever you executing the image, it will be running inside a container. Okay, container means it's just a machine. Okay, just a virtual machine. Okay, it will try to create. We'll see in more detail like what is inside a container. We'll try to see each and everything. But before that, let me show you how we can install the Docker inside our machine. So installing Docker is very easy for the Linux and this Mac user. So simply you can search Docker. Okay, Docker installation install. So there is a website install Docker. So they have their entire documentation. So see, they have given supported platform, different things. But let's say I want to install not this one. Docker install Docker desktop on Windows. Let me open this one. So here you can see Docker desktop setup. For Mac it is available. So for Mac, you can see, guys, you can follow the entire guideline. Okay, how to install for the Mac. But here I'm not using the Mac, and this is for the Linux. So inside Linux, you are having different version like Ubuntu, Debian. Okay, for this they have already mentioned all the required commands. Okay, with the help of this command, you can install the Docker. But here we are using Windows machines. Okay, I'll try to show you the about the Windows machine. Okay, how we can install Docker inside our Windows machine. So to install Docker inside your Windows machine, first of all, try to install download a Docker desktop. Okay, Docker desktop from the Docker website. If you just click here, it will download one executable file, and you have to install it. Okay, that means this Docker desktop you have to install. But before that, what you have to do, you have to search for environment variable. Okay, environment variable, and here I think not environment variable. There is another one called mm, just a minute. Virtualization. Just a minute, guys. I forget the name. Let me check just a minute. There is a things you have to enable. Hmm. So I think it is Windows feature. Windows feature. I think this one. Yeah. So Windows feature. If you search for Windows feature, guys, so you'll see this option turn on Windows feature. Okay. So if you open it up, you will see this kinds of window. So here you have to enable one option. Let me show you. You have to enable Windows subsystem for Linux. Okay, this one. This one, guys, you have to enable. Okay, this one, and there is another one. I think. Let me just check. Mm, huh. Virtual machine platform. This one and Windows subsystem for Linux. Okay, these two things you have to enable. So for me, I have already done the enable. I'll just try to cross. Then after that, you have to install WSL2 in your system. Okay, and how to install WSL2? They have already given the let's say guideline. You can see they have already written. So if you want to let's say run this Docker desktop, you need WSL. You can see WSL. Okay, version later means WSL2. You need WSL2. And how to install the WSL2? So here they have already given the guideline. Okay, let me show you. So system Linux required Microsoft second for more example WSL Docker C WSL. Hmm. Even simply what you can do, you can go to YouTube and search like how to install WSL2. Okay, you will automatically see like different tutorial. With the help of that, you can install this particular WSL. And after that, what you can go to the Microsoft store. So let me open up my Microsoft store, and here you can search for Ubuntu. And if you search for Ubuntu, guys, you will see different Ubuntu version would be available. So what you can do, you can install the latest one. Okay, so this is what actually Windows subsystem for Linux. That means I think you know, in Windows machine we can also execute, okay, our Linux kernel. Okay, it is possible. Windows gives you this kinds of functionality with the help of this one, Windows subscription for Linux. Okay, WSL. So you have to install this Ubuntu. Then after that, install WSL2. Okay, and make sure you have enabled this virtualization as well as the Windows subscription for Linux. Once everything is done, okay, once everything is done, then try to install this Docker. The let's say executable file you have downloaded, just try to install it. Okay, and once you install, it will take some time. After that, you will see that this container would be running. Okay, this container would be running, so you will see this particular green color. If it is, you can see the green color, that means your container is running fine. There is no error. Got it, guys? So if you are using Windows machine, so this thing you have to remember. Okay, because in Windows, setuping Docker is a little bit different apart from your Mac and Linux operating system. Okay, got it? And now you can ask me why we are installing this WSL, then we are installing the Ubuntu and all. Okay, because there is a reason. I'll let you know. Okay, why we have to install that. Okay, without that, why we can't install Docker in our Windows operating system and why we can't execute? Because by default, Docker needs the Linux kernel, okay, in the backend to run this particular Docker ecosystem. But in Windows, we don't have it. That's why we install this WSL, okay, inside our machine, and we get one Linux kernel. You can see here also will be getting the Ubuntu kernel. Okay, so with the help of this particular kernel, your Docker runs, okay, inside your operating system. This is the idea. Got it? So maybe in future lecture we'll try to see in detail, okay, how this thing works and all. Okay, as of now, you can install in that way. Yeah, just a minute. Okay, now let's see the Docker client. Okay, so what is Docker client exactly? I'll try to discuss it. So I'll open up my terminal. Let me close this at the tab, and I will clear it also. Okay. Now here I will execute one command. Let's say docker run. Okay, docker run hello world. So there is a image called hello world. Okay, inside docker hub. See, if I execute, it will pull the image first of all, and it will print hello world here. See, pulling latest image of the hello world. Okay, you can see. So successfully it has pulled that particular image. Now if I open the docker desktop, here you can see hello world image has been pulled. Okay, so what happens, see, whenever I executed this command, it used something called docker client. Okay, now let's try to see what is docker client exactly. See, docker client is nothing but just let me show you one demo. So I will show you another uh, graph I created. See, this is the graph. So whenever you executed docker run hello world, so first of all, it will use something called docker client. That means you have installed docker desktop in your system, right? And now whenever it is running, that means it is using the one client to interact with the docker. That means whatever, let's say, command you are giving, this terminal is the client. Okay, so what will happen, it will try to use this client and it will go to the docker server. Okay, it will connect to the docker server. Okay, and it will check whether the image you are looking for, let's say hello world, it is available or not in the image cache. That means inside your local machine, it will first of all check. Initially it would be empty, so what will happen, it will go to the docker hub. Okay, it will go to the docker hub, and in the docker hub you have, okay, you have thousands of actually images present. Let me show you. So inside docker hub, let me show you. So if I go to the export section, you have different images here. See, inside docker hub you have thousands images are available. Okay, all kinds of images: nginx, busybox, alpine, ubuntu, redis, postgres, python, node.js. Okay, you can see mysql, all kinds of, okay, all kinds of tools, all kinds of libraries images are available. Okay, so first of all it will go to the docker hub and it will search this hello world image is there or not. I think hello world image is also there. You can even search here. Let's see, here I can search hello world. See, this hello world image is there inside docker hub. Okay, you can see this image is there. So it will first of all go there and it will check whether hello world image is there or not. Definitely it is there. So what it will do, it will return. Okay, it will return. That means it will pull, I think you know. So here it was pulling. First of all it will check unable to find the hello world image locally, then it will pull the image from the docker hub, then it will download there and it will save inside the cache. That means this hello, okay, world image would be saved inside the image cache. Now see, whenever I will execute for the second time this command, let's say docker run hello world, you will see that it won't be pulling the image from the docker hub. It will try to use my existing image which is present inside my cache. Let me show you. See, hello from docker, this see, now it is not telling you this image is not present. Okay, and it is not telling you it is pulling the image. What it is doing, directly it is executing the image, and this is the message it is giving me, hello from the docker site. Got it guys, yes or no? So this is called actually docker client. So with the help of docker client, it will try to interact, okay, with the docker server as well as the docker hub whenever you are giving any kinds of docker command. Got it? Everybody is clear? Okay, now let's try to see what is container exactly. Okay, what is container exactly, because we saw that whenever I'm running any kinds of image, okay, whenever let's say executing any image, so it is running inside a container. You can see it has created different container. Okay, now let's try to see what is container. Okay, so to understand the container, so you have to first of all understand about your operating system. Okay, so here I have created another diagram, so let me just show you. Wait, I can't upload it here. Just a minute, guys. I have it here. Where is the kernel one? I want to show you one diagram I created. So this will give you the good example. What is container exactly? Think I just a minute, guys. Okay, so I got this image actually. So let me show you this image. So now I think this image, I think you can see, guys. Okay. So this is the image I just wanted to show you. See, uh, this will give you the idea how your operating system is running. See, let's say you have different software like Chrome, Terminal, Spotify, Node.js, okay, and so on. So whenever it is trying to communicate with your hardware, in between it has to cross two sections. One is the system call, another is the kernel. Okay, so what happens? My software will try to interact with the kernel first of all. Let's say Chrome wants to read and write some file inside your hardware, inside your memory, or let's say hard disk. So directly it can't do it. So for this, it has to interact with the kernel. So it will tell kernel, I need to, let's say, write something in the hard disk, or let's say I need to utilize the memory. And kernel will try to assign these particular things in the software. So likewise, all the software you are running, it will try to interact with the help of kernel with the help of system call. Okay. So with the help of this concept, this container has been created. Okay. Now let me show you some diagram I created. So this diagram will give you the idea about the container. Just a minute. So this is the image you can see. So this image, guys. So you can see. So whenever, let's say, I call this particular hello world, that means it's just a image. Okay, it's just a image. And what is image? Image is nothing but it's a snapshot, and it has actually some file and requirement and configuration. And it has also startup command. Let's say whenever I executed this image, directly it was showing this particular hello message. Okay, that means it was executing this image itself, that means executing this software itself. Okay, so that's why it is telling it has some startup command. And whenever you executed the image, it will create a container. So inside a container also you have the same thing: RAM, network, CPU, okay, hard disk and all. And it will also interact with the kernel. So this let's say hi there, that means whatever, let's say, message it is giving, First of all, it will tell the kernel I want to utilize that much of RAM, that much of network, that much of CPU. Okay, based on that it will try to assign, and then it will show you the hello world message. That means this container is nothing but it's just a machine, you can see. Okay, it's just a machine. That means the same thing you have, okay, inside your computer. Okay, you can see inside your computer. Okay, so the same thing you will be getting inside a container. Okay, so container is nothing but it's just a virtual machine. It runs actually your image. So this is the idea, guys. Okay, now I think you got it, what is image container exactly. But I'll discuss this thing in detail. Okay, we'll have the dedicated session on this one, actually how this, let's say, container works, what we have inside container, each and everything we'll try to discuss. Okay, but in this is just introduction session, so there I am giving only the high level walkthrough, okay, how things are working. But in that actually we have actually very, let's say, a detailed concept, okay, we have to understand. But as of now this is not required to understand a detail like how it is creating the container and all. Okay, so as a developer you have to know how to utilize this particular Docker, okay, inside your project implementation. Got it, guys? Okay, now let's try to see how this Docker is running inside your computer. See, this concept you saw, like all the command we are executing, the kernel and all. Okay, this is the concept of the Linux operating system. I think you know inside Linux operating system we have the kernel. In Windows we don't have the kernel. And whenever, let's say, it will create multiple Docker container. Let's say you have downloaded another image. I think you saw that here. You have downloaded another image and it has also created different container. So in one machine it is creating different container. How? Because it is using something called name spacing concept. Okay, and name spacing concept actually is not a Windows operating concept, it is a Linux operating concept. Okay, so with the help of that it will do the I think you know, multiple virtual machine it can create, multiple actually, let's say, configuration it can create, and it can assign actually program. So for this we need a Linux operating system, but Linux operating system we don't have inside our Windows. That's why we install actually Linux, that means WSL, okay, inside our system. And we install this one, this Ubuntu, okay, Ubuntu operating system, and that's how your Docker is running. It is utilizing the Linux kernel and it is trying to do all the operation, okay, whatever operation you usually perform inside Linux operating system. Okay, that's why WS is required. Got it? So directly you can't install the Docker. Okay, it's not possible. Directly you can't install the Docker inside your Windows. It's not possible. For this you need a WSL, because the concept it is using, okay, it needs the let's say Unix based operating system kernel, okay, and it is already available inside WSL. Okay, that is the idea. Now here I created one GitHub for you, so let me show you the GitHub. Since inside this GitHub I have already listed all the required command actually you need for the Dockerization and all. Let's say how to create the image, how to delete the image, how to see the container. So each and everything I have prepared here. So with the help of that we'll see the demo. So Docker command. See, so here all the Docker command actually we have. Okay, so even I've also commented out like this command actually what it will perform. Okay, this command what it will perform, each and everything I have listed down. Okay, so in the next session we'll see like how we can write a Docker file, how we can containerize our application, even how we can let's say use that particular Docker okay, Docker image. Okay, each and everything we'll try to see in detail. And whenever we'll be doing the project development, that time I will also show you how we can use this Docker for the CI/CD deployment. That means we'll containerize our entire application. We'll store this image inside ECR, that means Elastic Container Registry. From there, we'll try to pull the image inside our EC2 machine, and there we'll be running this particular image. Okay, so that's how we'll do the production grade deployment. So yes, this was the quick example of the Docker and definition of the Docker. Now I think you got the introduction of Docker. Okay, what is Docker exactly? But again, I told you guys, this is just introduction session. So inside that, I can't give you all the information about the Docker. Docker is a very huge concept. So inside that Docker, inside the Docker, we have different things. I think I showed you the entire Docker ecosystem. here. I think you remember. Okay, so each and everything takes time usually, but as of now this is just a community series. So here I will try to show you the required Docker commands you need and how to use the Docker for the application deployment and all. Got it? Okay, and there is a good news, guys. So I'm coming up with a MLOps live batch in our platform Euron. So if you go to the courses, if you go to the live courses, so here is the batch, guys. Okay, MLOps masters. So here I have kept one dedicated session for the Docker for the MLOps. So inside that we'll try to cover each and everything, like what is Docker Compose. Okay, all the Docker ecosystem we'll try to cover here. Okay, in detail. And apart from that, we also have like different like MLOps tool, like we'll be learning the Linux Git, then DVC, Cloud Platform, MLflow, Kubernetes, SageMaker, Bento ML, Grafana, continuous integration, continuous deployment. We'll be learning Jenkins, Circle CI. Okay, GitHub Action. Even we'll be also implementing some end-to-end project. So this is going to be the complete MLOps series. So make sure you check it out the syllabus, and if you like it, you can also enroll. And the course price is very affordable. If I show you the course price, it's like super affordable, only I think $24. Okay, and if you don't want to take individually, that time you can take the Euron Plus subscription, so that you can access all the courses from the Euron site. Got it? Okay, so now in the next session we'll try to see some Docker required commands, and we'll also see how we can create our own Docker image, how we can containerize our application. Okay, we'll be learning these are the things. So now if you have any question, you can ask me. Otherwise, I think I can end the session. Any question, guys? Okay, I think no question. Then I think we can end the session. So thank you guys for joining the session. Bye everyone. Take care. Bye. Thank you.